All right, world, I'm coming to you live, okay? And warning, if you don't want any spoilers, get the hell out of here, okay? And fast, because this is gonna be the Wentworth season 9 or season 8 part 2, the final sentence, episode 1 review. Which means I'm gonna give you every single spoiler that there is to be given, okay? I'm gonna talk about the entire episode from beginning to end. I'm gonna tell you things that were said, show you pictures, like everything. So if you don't want this episode to be spoiled for you because you've not yet seen it, get the hell out of here, okay? World, so for those of you that are still here, ready to watch, ready to listen, I just want to say this before I go on. The ending scene, I still can't. Hold on, I need a sip of coffee. Last night while I slept, okay, like I kept waking up. You know why? I kept waking up because I kept thinking about Lou's cries in the night. You know what I'm saying? Oh God, yo, that last scene was, my God. When I okay, let's just start, okay? Let's start the episode review. Are you ready? Grab a drink, grab a snack. This is going to be a long ass video, and I'm going to be going through all types of emotions while telling you what happened. The fucking shit starts off with like a montage of clips from last season, right? Season 8. And we see everything. We see everything that happened. All the scandals, all the fights, all of it. Lou's beautiful pinky finger getting cut off. Allie being stabbed and left for dead. All of it. We see it all. It's like a quick little recap, right? And then the fucking episode begins. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. The episode begins exactly the way that Craig from Wentworth Life predicted that it would begin, okay? It starts off with Joan Ferguson, all right? And she's in the yard. She's in the yard and she's sitting there looking at the flowers, fantasizing, all right? Fantasizing about running up on Will with this big ass kitchen knife and stabbing him to death. Right there in the center of the yard, in front of all of the women. We've already seen this clip, so we all know what happens. Jake Stewart snaps her out of her fucking murderous fantasies, okay, and tells her, you have a fucking appointment with Dr. Miller, so get your ass up and let's go. She leaves with Jakey, so they're in the lift, Jake and Joan are, and then all of a sudden, Joan goes and snaps Jake's neck. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I laughed, and I was like, this bitch is just going crazy with her murderous thoughts. You know what I'm saying? She's on a murderous rampage in her mind. But she snaps his neck multiple times in multiple different ways while they're waiting in the lift. And then they're walking down the corridor and we see Vera. So I'm thinking that, you know, her fantasy of slaughtering Vera was coming next, and it didn't. There was no fantasy of her killing Vera, which I found very interesting, and I had thoughts. So my thought was, she fantasized about killing Will, she fantasized about killing Jake. When she came to Vera, she stopped her murderous thoughts and there was no fantasy. And then so the first thing that came to my mind was this. It was a question, and I was like, could it be that the freak is in love with Vera? I don't know why, but that's what came to my mind. The next scene that we see is Joan, and she's talking to Dr. Miller. They're having a session, you know what I'm saying? And he's telling her, listen, you need to open up. You need to open up, and we need to like delve deeper into your past traumas because you have to work through this. And she's like, yo, can you please stop your shit because I'm not trying to hear that. And he's just insisting that she delve deeper into her childhood traumas. You know what I'm saying? He wants her to delve deeper and talk more in depth about her childhood traumas, and she's not having it. She's just like, yo, listen, shut the fuck up, and I got this. Don't push me. Stop pushing me to try to talk about shit that I don't want to talk about. Not in those words, but that's the gist of what she was saying. For the first time in episode 1, we see my precious baby love, Lou Kelly, playfully skipping up the steps with Reb. You know what I'm saying? So they're going up the steps, and in the background is Will and Boomer. So Lou says hi to Will Jackson. She's like, hello, governor. Hello, Booms. All right, I changed my clothes because it was too fucking hot to be up all in morning. Listen, I wanted to be dressed like I wasn't going to a damn funeral for this video, but you know what? It's too hot for that shit. So Will and Boomer are also in this staircase, and they're there talking about Allie and Lou and the whole stabbing. So Boomer's basically asking Will, why hasn't Lou been charged? And Will's like, charge her with what? We don't have any proof. We need proof, and until we get proof, we can't do jack shit. So what you're gonna do is you're not gonna do anything stupid. And she looked so cute, Boomer did, when she was like, you're asking the wrong person. So we see Ruby, Boomer, and Judy Bryant's punk ass, okay? We see them congregating in a little huddle, and they're talking about, yo, is it true that Allie's coming back today? Blah, blah, blah. When all of a sudden, my beautiful, precious baby love, she comes with Reb. She comes walking, and she's talking her shit. She's like, yo, what up? I heard Lips with Eyelashes is coming back today. Is it true? Are the rumors true? And so she says some slick shit to Boomer. You know what I'm saying? And Boomer, like, yells all in her face, and Lou Kelly jumps back, like, playfully and shit. Like, there, she's taunting Boomer. She's taunting her, okay? So what happens next? They show Lou and Reb in that scene where they're walking happily and Lou puts her arms around Reb from behind. Reb is telling Lou, yo, chill with why you keep fucking with these bitches. And she's like, listen, the women are scared of me for something I didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Yada, yada. And she grabs him and she tells him, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't stab Allie. It wasn't me. So she's basically letting Reb know I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Someone did it. I didn't do it. They think it's me. It works out because this way the women are afraid of me. And because they think I killed someone, meanwhile I didn't. As they're walking, they see Sheila and Mari sitting in the yard through the gates. So Lou, you know, starts talking her shit to Sheila. In this part, Lou is telling Sheila, what's up, Sheila? What you doing? Getting a prayer circle ready so you can lay your healing hands on everybody, being that that's your specialty, right? So I think that that's a shot from Lou to Sheila. I feel like Sheila raped Lou Kelly. We all know that Sheila's gay and she's on the low. She's trying to block that shit out. Meanwhile, you can't because it is who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she was also raping these people that were in the True Paths retreat, and one of them was Lou Kelly. So while this is happening, Linda Miles comes and tells Lou and Reb, the cops want to talk to y'all. Lou thinks it's just the cops want to talk to her, but they also want to talk to Reb. So Lou was thinking that the cops wanted to talk to her about the stabbing of Allie Novak. Right? But then when Linda says Reb too, they're like confused, like what the fuck is going on? So they go with Linda to talk to the authorities. And then we're left with Mari and Sheila. First of all, before I go any further, I just want to say this about Mari. Mari must die, okay? Listen, first of all, in my top 10 things that I must see in season 9, I said that I wanted to see Mari's redemption. Listen to me. Hamas, I don't want to see that no more. I don't want to see her be redeemed. There's nothing that could redeem her at this point to me. I feel like you done fucked up. We'll find out later on why, but Mari must die, okay? And I'm not going to feel bad for her. I'm not going to fucking feel bad for her. Mari and Sheila, the beady-eyed little bitch, okay? Because, oh my God, yo, when I tell you, listen. Oh God, I'm getting worked up. I'm getting worked up, yo. When I tell you, wait until you hear this, okay? It's not coming up yet. It's coming up a little later, but the shit is gonna piss you off. So, Mari and Sheila are, you know, they're yapping. And Sheila's there looking all smug and shit. And Mari's like, you know, what's with the smile? Sheila is basically telling Mari, I told my lawyers that Lou and Reb was in the True Paths Retreat and Lifestyle Conversion Therapy Center, okay? And that's it. So I'm forcing their hand. Like, they don't want to help me a la buena, pues me van a ayudar a la mala. How does that translate into English? If you don't want to help me when I asked you the nice way, then I don't know how to translate that into English. But basically, Sheila's mind frame and her thought processes were, si no me ayudan a las buenas, me van a ayudar a las malas. I asked you nicely to help me and you didn't want to, so now we're going to do it my way. I don't know. If you are Spanish, leave in the comments down below how do you translate what I just said in Spanish into English, because I'm just not certain. So the next scene is Lou and Reb being interrogated by the police. and they're asking them questions. Were you guys there? So they already had a story ready to go. Let me tell you something. Lou is about this life, okay? She's not gonna just get caught out there for questioning and not have answers, okay? So she and Reb, they had their story. I'm quite sure that Lou concocted this story. So they're questioning them, and they're showing, I love how they did this scene. They were showing like the cops questioning Lou, and then her answering the question, then the cops would ask a question, and then they would show Reb answering the question. And it was, I liked that back and forth, you know what I'm saying? So they're asking them those questions, and I wrote some notes here on this poster because I had a thought during that scene. So their story was, yes, we were there, but we left way before the fires happened. You know what I'm saying? We left before the burning blaze that killed 9 people, okay? We left in May. So when they asked them, when did you leave? Lou is like, we left in May. Reb is like, we left in June. And I'm like, ah, shit, here we go. And then Reb's like, no. It was May. I remember because that's when it was Lou's birthday. I wonder if that slip up will come back up later in the season. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, again, but that was just a thought that came to me. Then we get to the yard scene. The yard scene where Lou Kelly she comes out with Reb Keane, and she blows Sheila the kiss, basically like taunting her, you know what I'm saying? Like, nice try, bitch. You tried to fucking get me to help you. A la mala. I told you I wasn't gonna help you. I don't know what you thought this plan was gonna accomplish, but you accomplished nothing. If anything, now you're going down, bitch. You're going down for 9 counts of fucking murder, all right? And then Reb decides to join in and taunts Sheila and tells her, you're in here for life, bitch. Your life is Wentworth from now on in. So while they're in the yard, we see the other women. Ruby's there, Judy, treacherous ass, Boomer's there, you know, all the usual suspects are there. They're anticipating the return of Ali Novak, who is on her way back to the prison, right? So while they're standing by the gates, Judy decides that it's a good idea to run up on my precious baby love. Let me tell you something real quick about this scene. First of all, before she runs up on Lou, she yells out, oi! But the way that she yells out, oi, I wanted to punch her in her mouth. I wanted my fist to like just all in her mouth. Like, bitch, I'm gonna need for you to shut the fuck up. You're not tough. You're not tough. I don't care what you think, Judy. And she's so upsetting. So I hear her yell out, oi, and immediately I want to smack her. This is for Ali, you fucking bitch. And she runs up to her. Lou swats her like a fly, like we all see. She's happy about it, and everything just stops. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Nobody's taken away except for Judy. Judy's the only one that's taken away in that scene. And then right after she's taken away, Boomer goes up to Lou and she's like, you reckon? Boomer was basically challenging Lou in that moment when she went up to her and she was like, you reckon? My response to that was like, yup, she reckons. I reckon she does. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know what that meant. But, you know, it's some type of like aggressive talk. I don't know. You know, Lou and Boomer don't get into it at that moment. Boomer just tells her, you reckon? And I'm like, she sure does. She reckons. I reckon for her. And so Allie comes. So Boomer leaves Lou where she's at, goes to the gates to greet Allie. Mr. Jackson is wheeling Allie into the yard. The women are gathering around her. And they're like all happy to see her. And they're like, you know, don't worry. You're going to be back on your feet in no time. And Allie breaks the news to the women. No, ladies, I won't be back on my feet. I've got damage in my spine. And it's a wrap. I'm not going to be walking. And it was a sad moment. And so everyone looked sad, you know, like after she tells him this, Mari's looking and Mari just looks completely fucking heartbroken. I felt bad for Mari, but this is before I saw what Mari did, okay? And so I don't feel bad for the bitch anymore. But at this moment, I felt bad for her because she looked really sad. Mr. Jackson looked so sad. The women looked so sad. Everybody looked fucking sad except for Lou. Lou didn't give 2 fucks. She didn't give a fucking flying fuck about Allie in that wheelchair, like at all. You see her face and she's like, listen, I could give 2 fucks. I could care less about this shit that's going on right here. And she walks away with her man, not giving without a care in the world, all right? So then the next scene that we see is Judy in the governor's office explaining to Will Jackson, you know, whatever. She's like, listen, I know my actions were appalling, you know what I'm saying? And I deserve to be slaughtered. So just throw me in the slot. And Will Jackson's like, nah, bitch. I'm going to let you slide on this one. I'm going to let you rock. And Allie needs you more than the slot does. So back to general population you go. That's what's going on. He's like, basically, fuck you, Judy Bryant. You're not going to the slot. You're going to go take care of your friend who needs you. Meanwhile, Judy Bryant ain't nobody's friend. All right? Meanwhile, back in H1, Boomer's wheeling Allie into her new cell. So Boomer switches cells with Allie's because apparently Boomer's cell is bigger. In Boomer's old cell, which is Allie's new cell, they put like bars. They put like a bar by the toilet bowl. They put a bar by the bed, so that she could have something to grab onto to help her get in and out of the bed, the toilet, all of these places. So, okay, this is the first time in episode 1 that I cried. So she's in there. They wheel her in, and Allie asks Ruby to pass her B's blanket. I don't know why, but in that moment, I got so sad. And so I'm watching Ruby give her the blanket, right? And I'm like, oh God. And then they show Boomer's face and she's like crying, and you could see Allie's face, and oh my God, I cried. I started to cry. I got sad. I started crying, okay? And I'm like, oh God, this is terrible. Like, you know, all this time, all these months making these videos, knowing, you know, predicting that Allie would be paralyzed, to see it happening, like I never realized how severe it was until I saw it in action. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see a picture, yeah, it's like, wow, but when you see it, and I'm just like, you know, I was never saddened by the thought of Allie being paralyzed. You know, for me, she was just a character. She went from being that to being a human who can no longer walk, but once could. And when I tell you, it was one of the saddest things. It was just so sad. It made me emotional, and I cried. So then Judy comes back to the unit while the girls are all congregated in the unit. You know what I'm saying? Booms, Allie, Ruby. We have now Judy Bryant's punk ass coming back into H1. So Allie basically tells the women, give us a second. I want to talk to this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, come here. She tells Judy Bryant, come here. So Judy Bryant goes shitting bricks. She's shitting bricks. Like, you could literally see her shitting bricks, okay? And she right away apologizes to Allie because she thinks that Allie knows. You know what I'm saying? That she's the one who fucking stabbed her in the back and left her for dead in the showers, okay? But that's not what it is. Allie asks her, what did you do with the bread, bitch? So she's like, what'd you do with the money? And Judy says, I didn't give it back. And then Allie tells Judy, don't even worry. Keep that bread for yourself. Use it to fight your extradition. Fuck Luke Kelly. I was like, you know what, Allie? I'm trying to sympathize with you, but if you keep talking crazy about my precious baby love, I'm gonna have to not give a fuck. Okay? So that's what happened there. Meanwhile, back in the fucking security guards' rooms, we have Vera Bennett with her lunch that she is not eating. Why? Because she's too busy with her eyes on the screen. She's watching the CCTV footage, okay? She's keeping her eyes on Joan Ferguson. She's looking for anything that she can to spot that Joan is not Kath, but in fact Joan Ferguson. So she's looking at the CCTV. What's his name? Jake comes in. He comes in and he tells Vera, yo, how long are you gonna keep doing this shit? In this scene, we see Joan in the fucking kitchen, and we find out that there's a leak in the freezer. So it means the freezer is malfunctioning some way, somehow. That is very important information, ladies and gentlemen. We need to know this, okay? That's an important piece of information that us as viewers need to remember going forward for the season. The freezer's malfunctioning. It means it's not working properly, folks. Jake comes in and he's basically like poking fun at Vera, telling her, yo, you're like a fucking obsessed bitch. You need to stop this. At the same time, we find out that baby Grace is having problems sleeping. She's in some sleep clinic because she's been having trouble sleeping ever since last season. Do you remember when Vera thought that Grace subconsciously felt some shit was coming and she was staying up all night crying? Well, that's continued on into this season, and now Grace is, you know, getting treated in a sleep clinic for this, all right? Which I also think that is going to have something to do with it later on in the season. That sleep clinic is going to come into play. Baby Grace probably gets kidnapped from that sleep clinic. Who knows? Anyway, you know, Jake is just making fun of her, and he's like, you know, oh no, Joan's in the kitchen prepping veggies. Oh no, she just wiped down a bench. You know what I'm saying? Being an asshole. And so the next scene is Will, Allie, and Vera, and they're all in the governor's office. So they're having to talk with Allie, talking about her care plans moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she's telling him, I don't think I should be top dog. And Will is like, why would you step down? And she's like, hello, look at me. And he's telling her, being top dog is not all about physical strength. So in the governor's office, Will and Vera are asking her to tell them who stabbed her. They're like, please tell us who did this to you. We have an idea of who it is. We just need for you to fucking verbally say it. Because at this point, everyone's swearing up and down that it was my precious baby love, Luke Kelly, who did it. She's innocent. Stop spitting dirt on her name. So Allie tells them, listen to me, okay? What happened the last time I lied to you motherfuckers? This right here happened. I'm not telling y'all jack shit. What happens next? Boomer, Ruby, and Allie are in the yard, okay? And they're just, you know, having a great day. Boomer's like, I'm gonna go get you some snacks from commissary. You know what I'm saying? Wait for me right here. And Allie's like, all right, you do that. We see Lou and Reb sitting in the sidelines watching. And so then when Boomer goes to get the chips, Lou gets up and she goes to Allie. And she's like, where's my money, bitch? Where's my bread that you stole? And Allie's like, I didn't take your shit. Lou gets a little aggressive and Allie tells her, go ahead, bitch, kill me. Go ahead and kill me. You'd be doing me a favor, right? And then Judy Bryant comes talking her shit like, yo, leave her alone, Lou. And Lou is like, oh yeah, very scary, Judy. Like being patronizing as fuck. And I loved it, okay? So then Boomer and Ruby are coming. Mind you, in the midst of this, Ruby said twice. By this point, I forgot to mention this. Ruby had already said 2 times, all we need is for Allie to tell us that Lou did it and Lou's dead, which means Ruby's down to murder. I think Ruby might try to kill Lou Kelly at some point in the season. I'm gonna just say that. So Ruby and Boomer are coming to the aid and Lou is like, oh, here they come, here they come. You know what I'm saying? Like not giving a fuck, knowing that these girls are like soft compared to her. You know what I'm saying? Like she knows, y'all can't fuck with me, so but I can fuck with you. And so Boomer, you know, grabs at Lou's arm and Lou's like, oi, and she gets in her face. So now they're having that stare off where they circled each other in the yards that I loved so much that Boomer looked like she wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? And we got to see Lou's face staring back angrily at Boomer. It was great. So they have that little staring contest. Lou storms off. Boomer looks at her and I'm like, Boomer's got Allie's back. You know what I'm saying? 100% she got Allie's back. You know, she's that pit bull that's going to attack you. She might not win the fight, especially when it comes to Lou Kelly, but she's going to try, bless her heart. That's what happens. And then in the midst of that, we see, before they walk off, we see Reb looking at Mari, and he looks at her up and down like, bitch. So meanwhile, back in the showers, Sheila and Mari are in there. How did it work out for you telling your lawyers about Lou and Reb? You know, it didn't work out. It didn't work out how you planned, huh? And that was basically it. So Mari leaves. This scene right here was very interesting. So Mari leaves the showers and it's just fucking Sheila's punk ass, okay, in the showers doing what she gotta do when all of a sudden walks in Judy Bryant, right? So Judy Bryant comes into the showers to take a shower when all of a sudden she's like, fucking shit, I forgot my body wash. And Sheila's like, oh, I can help. Here, you can use some of mine. And she proceeds to hand her a bottle of body wash, okay? So Judy Bryant is now naked in the showers. So there is a naked, treacherous bitch in the showers slathering herself with soap, right? When all of a sudden, you see Sheila looking into the mirror, right? But in the mirror, the reflection, she could see behind her Judy Bryant's naked, glistening ass, all right, in the showers. And she's lusting after her. She goes in to this days of pure lust, okay? That was fucking crazy. So she's there, Sheila is, and she's flossing her teeth. As the scene progresses, she's like really going in on these gums, okay? She's flossing extremely aggressively, okay? And I'm like, oh God, 2 things are happening here. The whole time I'm laughing. So what's happening here in this scene for me is 2 things. Number 1, Sheila is lusting hard over fucking Judy Bryant's glistening, soapy ass behind her in the showers, okay? She's flossing those teeth aggressively, but at the same time, I feel like she's trying to fight those feelings of lust. Like, Because we all know Sheila is gay, but she don't want to admit it. She's a lesbian who's in the closet, all the way in the back of that closet, like buried behind a trap door in that closet, okay? She's lusting after Judy Bryant, but at the same time trying to fight the lust because she thinks it's a sin and, you know, it's just wrong. Meanwhile, it's not. And don't ever let anyone tell you different. She is flossing her teeth and trying to fight these feelings. And listen, she ends up cutting her gums. She ends up bleeding. You see blood coming from her mouth. But she starts bleeding from the mouth, all right? And she spits, and that's the end of that scene. Meanwhile, back in Lou and Reb's unit, we see Mari making herself a cuppa. And then we see Reb walking into Lou's cell, but looking at Mari like he got something to say. But he never says anything. So he goes into Lou's cell, and Lou's there putting on some lotion on her beautiful skin, okay? And he's like, yo, is there anything to what Mari said? Lou gets frustrated because she's like, listen, we're not going down that fucking rabbit hole. Because remember, Mari said Lou doesn't want you to get the top surgery. She's doing anything that she can to fuck up you being able to get your surgery, which wasn't true. So he wants to talk about that. So she's like, listen, we're not going to do it. And he's like, can we please? So she's like, fine, let's fucking talk about it. So they have the conversation, and he's basically telling her, I'm a man, you're a woman. People are going to look at us like we're some boring ass straight couple once I have my surgery. And Lou is like, do you really think that we're in danger of that? It was cute. And that was that. They have their little conversation, and then they start kissing. Lou tells him, I will never iron your shirts. Don't you dare fucking ask me. And I was like, yo, I'm the same way. So then they start kissing, right? And while they're kissing and giggling, we see Joan in her cell, listening, but not really. So their kissing and laughing sounds turn into sounds of moaning and pleasure. And then we see Joan, and Joan is just in there having her own murderous fantasies, okay? We see Joan in her bed fantasizing about a frozen Will Jackson in that freezer. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like she was becoming it looked like she was borderline aroused by the thought. That's what I got from that scene. I could be wrong, but that's what it looked like. I feel like the sounds of pleasure coming from the cell next to her, from Lou and Reb, mixed with the thoughts of a frozen Will Jackson, okay, dead, was turning Joan the fuck on. So then the next scene is Vera walking down the corridors of Wentworth, and we see Jake, and Jake tells her, yo, be careful because there's throw up around the corner. Somebody threw up around the corner. So then what happens? She sees Joan Ferguson. Joan says, hello, Vera. How are you? You know what I'm saying? Or something to that effect. And Vera tells her, you know what, bitch? I'm sick of you. Let's go. And she takes her around the corner and makes her clean up the puke with no gloves. No gloves. Okay? None. It was disgusting. Okay? Next scene is Judy and Allie in H1, and they're watching the news about the slain secretary of whatever the fuck he was and his murder. So Boomer's in the unit and she's trying to write her jail porn, and Sheila is lurking from the unit listening, appalled, okay? Because as we all know, she doesn't want to admit the truth about herself that she is gay, okay? So she's talking her shit. Ruby's cucándola, and in that moment I said to myself, Ruby, you're fucking with the wrong one, okay? I caught a bad vibe in that scene between Sheila and Ruby, and it makes me wonder, after knowing what Sheila is capable of doing, which we're gonna find out later, it makes me wonder, is Ruby safe? Because she's fucking with Sheila, she's cucándola, and like, you know, fucking with her, not taunting, she's fucking with her, la está cucando. I don't know how to say that in English. And so then somebody comes, one of the screws comes to get Sheila because her lawyer's there to see her. They come and they get her, she leaves. After she leaves, Mari comes into H1 because she wants to talk to Allie. They go into Allie's cell and she's asking her, who did this to you? Was it Lou that did this to you? You know what I'm saying? And Allie's like, no. Allie's not trying to say nothing, but then Mari tells her, listen to me. Admit to me that it was Lou. Tell me that it was Lou who did it, and I'ma kill Lou. Not in those words, but that's what she meant. So you never see or hear Allie tell her that it was Lou. The next scene, it's Mari telling Reb that Lou did it. She's telling Reb, Lou did it. Allie told me, blah, blah, blah. And Reb is basically like, listen, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I told Lou to kill her. She got a lot of nerve. She stole my money. And so he's basically telling her, mind your fucking business. Don't get involved. Meanwhile, back in the yard, we see Sheila sitting in a corner, sad as fuck, crying, looking all the way stressed out. You know what I'm saying? When all of a sudden comes Mari, okay? This fucking little troll bitch that she is for me now and forever will be. So Mari comes in, okay, with her happy ass, and she's like, well, what's wrong? Sheila Bausch? You know what I'm saying? And Sheila's like, it's the end of times. It's the end of days. I'm going to be in here for the rest of my fucking life. She's like, I'm going down for these murders. They're the only ones that could say that I wasn't there, and they're not going to. And then Mari is looking at Lou and Reb, all happy, kissing by the weights. Sheila tells Mari, without Mendel, things are unraveling, right? I feel like what she meant by that was without Mendel to brainwash her ass, all right? Her feelings of lust for the same sex are coming back, and they're coming back strong. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think she meant by that. Because remember the scene in the bathroom where she was aggressively flossing her teeth, all right? To the point where she made herself bleed. That's the things that are unraveling. Her lust for the female form, that's what's happening here. So Mari tells Sheila it was Lou who poisoned everybody. So remember, I was thinking that Reb was going to tell Mari that Lou is the one that killed the people. I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I was wrong forever even thinking that Reb's loyalty runs deep. He would have never told Mari that shit. Anyway, so Mari basically tells Sheila Lou did it. And Sheila's like, what? And Mari's like, I saw her try to poison somebody up in here. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put it past her to have poisoned these motherfuckers. She sets the building ablaze, all right? And then saves Reb from the fire that she lit. That was very poetic writing, by the way. I was like, oh, I like that. I like that. So Mari's telling Sheila it's fucked up. Lou done killed the man that you love. Mendel, okay? The brainwashing son of a bitch. She done killed the man that you love, and now she's in here happy as fuck with her boo, in love, got some warmth, got somebody to love her, hug her, hold her, you know what I'm saying? And you're left in here for life with nothing. So you got two choices, Sheila. You either kill yourself, all right? Or you kill Lou. Because if you don't, she's going to make the rest of your life up in here miserable. Trust me. That's what Mari tells her. Trust me. Bitch, because you're pussy. That's why. Because you're pussy and you don't got the fucking balls to take Lou out yourself. So you want to manipulate Sheila into doing it for you because you want her to stop making your life miserable. You're a pussy ass bitch. I'm going to need for you to fight your own battles. So Mari basically pulled a Joan, okay, and manipulated Sheila into doing her bidding. That's what happened there. Mari has to go, okay? And I don't care what happens. I don't care how it happens, who does it, but it needs to happen. Go be with your son and get the fuck out of here because you ain't no good for the women, bitch. Meanwhile, back in H1, we got Ruby in her cell looking at pictures of Rita and her dad, okay? Being sad and shit. So then the next scene is Rita next to her dad. Did I skip a scene? I skipped the scene. Rita at the bedside of her dying father. How could I have skipped that scene? There's a scene where we see Rita go to her dad. It fell through the cracks, all right? And in that scene, when she saw her father, I also cried. That was my first tear in episode 1, was Rita seeing her dying dad in the bed, dying, okay? That shit touched my fucking heart, and it made me cry. And then the second cry scene, that thing that made me cry, was Allie. I can't believe I fucking left that scene out. Fucking shit. So here, Rita is next to her father when all of a sudden she receives a call from Ruby from inside the halls of Wentworth. They're talking. Rita puts the phone to her father's ear so Ruby could say something to him. He's drugged up because of the pain, so he can't really speak, but he could hear. You know what I'm saying? So Ruby was saying her words to him, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts talking. He thinks that, and Rita's like, you know, I'm here, Dad. And he tells Rita, I love you. But he's not really saying it to Rita. He thinks that it's Ruby sitting next to him. I felt bad for Rita at that point. I hope that her father realizes it's her and says, I love you to Rita before he dies. Meanwhile, back in the kitchen, we see Joan Ferguson washing her hands, okay? When all of a sudden, Will Jackson comes in to inquire about the fucked up freezer, okay? So while he's in the freezer room looking at the freezer, Joan is grabbing the knife out of the sink, okay? The knife is attached to something via a plastic cord, okay? Joan then proceeds to to wrap the plastic cord that's attached to the knife around her hands to use it as a strangling mechanism to strangle Mr. Jackson. But then she fights the urge and runs out of the kitchen all frazzled. Will gets a bad feeling in the midst of him checking out the freezer, turns around to find there's nobody there, not even Ferguson, but the knife is there. So then the next scene is Joan in the hallway, ripping at her hairnet, not knowing what the fuck. And then she's in Dr. Miller's office, okay? Talking about, listen to me. I need you to help with my murderous urges. I can't fight them anymore. I am Joan Ferguson, and I want to kill them all. So I'm going to need for you to help me because my trial is coming up soon. And if I flip the fuck out and kill somebody before my trial, I'm never getting out of here. And that can't happen because in the back of her mind, I feel like she believes she's going to get out of jail. She's going to play this Cat Maxwell amnesia shit all the way to high heavens, and she believes that she's going to be vindicated and released from fucking Wentworth Correctional Center. Bitch, are you crazy? They're never going to let you out. But that's basically what's going on here. And he's like, bitch, you're bugging. And he calls for a screw. The screws come. He take this bitch back to work unit. She leaves, and he's left to breathe a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, you can see that he's scared. He's fucking scared. Okay? Pendejo. So my whole thing with Joan and Dr. Miller, I got questions. Does Joan want to kill or not? You know what I'm saying? That was the first post-it note here. Does Joan want to kill or not? Is her not wanting to kill an act? And I was like, probably. She's fucking out of her mind. Then I wrote here, she's playing Dr. Miller into thinking she doesn't want to kill, but she does. She wants to kill. In the next scene, we have these two fucking bitches, these two pussy-ass fucking rat bitches, Mari and Sheila, okay? And they're in the fucking corridors and they're mopping. Y'all should be cleaning your own fucking minds out because y'all bitches is filthy. They're mopping. Sheila comes to Mari and basically tells her, listen to me. Can you get this drug? I didn't understand the name of the drug, but it's like some type of a fucking roofie probably. It wasn't Rohypnol. I don't think it was I don't know what it was, but whatever it was going to put Lou and Reb to sleep. So she tells Mari, I need to put both of them to sleep. Reb has to be knocked out of the way too because I can't have him intervening while I'm killing Lou. So Mari's like, I got you. So then we have like this mischievous montage, if you will, of Sheila preparing a murder weapon to kill my precious baby love, Luke Kelly. Bitch, how dare you? You see this montage and you see Sheila making her murder weapon and you see Mari getting the drugs. You know who gives Mari the drugs? This bitch. Zaina gives Mari the drugs. So I'm going to go on record right now as saying Zaina giving Mari the drugs is the reason why later on we see Luke Kelly, a vicious, angry Luke Kelly, grabbing Zaina by the hair and dragging her up and down the halls of Wentworth. That's why it happens, because she finds out that she's the one that provided these hoes with the fucking drugs to knock them out. Oh, God. That's what happens there. And then we see Sheila in her room reading what looks like the Bible, okay? The Bible, bitch, really? She's reading the fucking Bible. Anyway, she's in her room sitting, leyendo la Biblia, okay? Cuando Mari Winter walks in and throws the drugs, where do the drugs land? In between the pages, the Bible, and she closes it and smirks and has this look on her face that made me want to rip her fucking face off. Bitch, you need to go, okay? And I can't wait for Lou to kill you. Oh, God. The next scene is Lou and Reb in the yards, and they're drinking a cuppa, okay? The both of them are, and they're playing cards. They love to play cards together. It's just so beautiful. And Joan is there, and Lou sees Joan, and Lou decides to talk her shit, and she's like, we're playing Go Fish. You want to play? And then she's like, oh, wait, is it too soon? And she starts, like, making faces of, like, a fish gasping for air. And I laughed because I thought it was hilarious. So she's fucking with her. I enjoyed that scene thoroughly. I thought it was funny. I love watching Lou be a brat. So then in that same scene, we see Ali and Boomer, and they're all sitting in their table with their crew when Ali's like, listen up, ladies, I need your attention. You know what I'm saying? She's about to give a speech. The speech is telling the women that she's going to be stepping down as top dog. That she's appointing Boomer the new top dog until there's like a formal vote and shit later on in the cafeteria involving desserts. You know what I'm saying? So Boomer pops up and she's like, you know, I don't have a speech ready because I didn't know I had to have one. And then she's like, so yeah, fucking behave yourselves and shit. And that's it. So that's what she told the women. Just behave yourselves and everything's going to be all right. The women clap. Now, while all of this is going on, in the background lingering is a fucking beady-eyed little monster named Sheila, who is literally sitting behind Lou and Reb while they're listening to the speech. First of all, Allie thanks the women, you know what I'm saying? And Lou is like, you're welcome. I love her. I love her. So while she's doing all of this fucking bitch is behind them and she's pouring in the powder into the cups. So Craig was correct once again with his theory that it was going to be some type of a drug to knock them both out. Oh my God. So at this point I'm screaming and I'm like, you're a fucking bitch. I hate you. You need to die. So once the powder is in the cups, we see Mari like, yes, she's got the fucking eye of the tiger. Lou's going down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, if I could jump through the screen and rip your fucking neck out, I would right now. So she puts the poison into the things. The speeches are over and Lou and Reb go back to the cards. Lou takes a sip of her thing. Mari's looking like, yes, bitch, drink that shit. And then they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. We got better things to do anyway. Reb takes a sip and they leave. They leave having ingested the fucking drugs, all right? Oh, God. Oh. So then the next scene is Joan Ferguson in Dr. Miller's office. And Dr. Miller's like, listen, I've thought about things and I've decided I'm going to fucking help you. Here's this drug. What's it called? I don't know. He gives her a drug and he tells her that the drug stimulates the oxytocin in her brain, which in turn promotes shit like empathy, all right? Which means that it's gonna help stop her having these feelings of wanting to kill motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? He tells her the only condition is that if I'm gonna give you this and try to help you stop wanting to fucking kill people, then you have to delve deeper during our therapy sessions and really get to the root of what the fuck is your problem. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, will a verbal agreement suffice or do you want it written in blood? And I was like, there she is. There's Joni. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta love Joan and her shit. You know what I'm saying? So she drinks the fucking medication and Dr. Miller looks worried. The next scene is, oh God. So we're almost at the end. We're almost at the home stretch here. When I say that from this moment on, my emotions are going to take over. Okay? So just prepare yourselves. It's the shower scene. It is Allie's first time in the showers since the vicious attack. Okay? And it's her, Boomer, Ruby. Those are her girls. They're there to help her. So they wheel her into the shower and she gets into the shower, right? And the music starts to play. It's this beautiful song that I've never heard in my life, okay? The song starts playing and again we have this musical montage of Allie in the showers, right? And then it switches to Lou and Reb. It's Lou and Reb and they're kissing. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a fantasy. It was real. It was a real scene. They're kissing in the fucking units. Chairs are being tossed to the side to make room for their bodies up against the desk. You know what I'm saying? The table, whatever the fuck. And then they run playfully into Reb's cell. Lou and Reb do. They show them kissing, this magical light. It was just so beautiful and playful. And it was just really, really fucking magical. And they run into Reb's cell. And I got what I wanted. You remember I said I wanted them to have one final moment, like in my checklist, in my top 10 things of shit I wanted to see. One of those things was for Lou and Reb to have a final moment of love together, and they did. And let me tell you something, okay? This scene was beautiful. Listen, I don't know. It wasn't raunchy. It wasn't tasteless. It was so beautiful, okay? First of all, seeing my precious baby love in the heat of pleasure was a sight, okay? She's gorgeous. And so Reb's got his hand around her neck and they're doing the damn thing. He's got his hands in her pants and she's just like, I'm loving every minute of it. And it was a tasteful scene. Let me tell you something. Wentworth did not disappoint. If this was Wentworth's last love scene forever, then it was a great one. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment that we got to share with Reb and Luke Kelly, okay? And I was not disappointed. Let me tell you something. You want to hear my reaction? I'm going to play to you my reaction when I saw that scene. All right, so this is the scene here because I was screen recording it. And so whatever I was saying was coming out, but you could hear it like in the background. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this or not, but I'm going to give it a shot. But if you can, you're going to laugh at my reaction when I saw Reb Keane and Luke Kelly on the bed, okay?
Oh my God, I love ya.
I was like, oh my God, I love ya. And then I was like, yes. It was a good scene. It was a good scene, and that's all I wanted. I just wanted them to see them in the fucking throes of passion. You see that, you know what I'm saying? And then that scene ends with Reb taking off Lou's shirt, and then they're kissing. The last kiss. Oh, God, it was so sad. Because I knew what was coming, but I wasn't ready for what I saw, all right? So then after that, we see Allie back in the showers. She's naked. She's on a chair. She's in the showers. And Dito, she starts to cry. When she started to cry, I was like, damn, yo. And I felt, you know, the tears. And I started to get emotional. And then what happens? She puts her hand over her mouth to cry. And that was it for me. That, I don't... And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, my God. Listen, I started to cry, okay? For the third time in episode 1. The third time. And then Ruby must hear her crying because she comes in to console her ex-lover, now friend, right? Ruby's consoling a crying Allie in the bathroom. And what happens? The next scene is Lou and Reb in bed. After they finished what they had to do, the drugs probably took effect, and now they knocked the fuck out in bed, sleeping, right? When all of a sudden, what do you see? You see Sheila, okay, walking up to the door, the cell door, Reb's cell door. And in that moment, I screamed. I was like, no.
Oh God, he dies in her arms? No. No fucking way. I can't.
Because it was in that moment that I realized what the fuck was about to go down. They're both knocked out. The plan was for Sheila to go into that cell and, oh God, all right, so, oh God. And you just know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. You know that we all knew that Reb was going to die, okay? The whole time watching this, we know, you know, Sheila is not going to kill Lou. Reb is going to die. We just didn't know how or like what. We didn't know how, okay? Or what events were going to lead up to it. When I saw Sheila walking to that door, holding that fucking garrote, okay? That damn spoon on a string, okay? Oh, God. And I saw them sleeping in each other's arms, yo. Oh, my God. And I was just like, yo, the writers of Wentworth, y'all ain't shit for this. Y'all ain't shit for doing this. So basically, anyone with eyes and a heart, okay, could realize at this point that what's going to happen is instead of fucking Lou being killed, Reb is gonna be killed. But they're together in bed. Do you understand what this means? It means that Reb is gonna be killed while laying next to Luke Kelly. Okay? That's what the fuck it means. We see her at the door, at Reb's door. And then the next scene is Mari in the yard, sitting next to fucking Joan Ferguson. Okay? Sheila comes into the yard looking like a smug fucking bitch. And she gives Mari a look of confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Like the deed has been done. Mari looks like she's satisfied. You know what I'm saying? And then this part I couldn't understand. She scoots over, right? Like this is Joan, this is Mari. So Mari scoots over and now she's literally next to Joan, and then she puts her head on Joan's shoulder. And as this is happening, I screamed out, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know why, but I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? Why are you doing that? And then Joan looks at her like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? Why are you touching me? And then the next scene is the saddest shit that I've seen since Lizzie's death, okay? Listen, the next scene is my precious baby love. She's just laying in bed looking so beautiful when she just, you know, She opens her eyes. She opens, I can't. She opens her eyes, right? And she looks at Reb. And the first thing that she sees is the spoon around his neck. And I'm screaming like, no, please, God, no.
Oh my God, no, please, no. Oh my God, no, please. Oh my God, look at him. Oh my God.
Because the moment that I saw Sheila walk to that door with that weapon, I knew what was going to happen. Sheila basically killed Reb. She strangled Reb. Okay? While Lou was right fucking there, yo. She was right there laying in bed next to him. Right there. Like, oh God. I don't know if y'all understand the severity of what's happening here, okay? But Reb was killed while laying in the bed in the arms of his fucking true love. You know what I'm saying? So Luke Kelly opens her eyes. She sees this fucking spoon around Reb's neck, and I'm already crying at this. Listen, I started crying the second that I realized that Luke Kelly was gonna wake up to find her one true fucking love, all right, the love of her life, dead in her arms. Oh my God, I was screaming. I was like, no, please, this can't be happening. And so when man, his face was all purple and blue and all the colors of, oh God, no signs of life, okay? Hold on. She started screaming. I wasn't ready for her wails of fucking grief. It was so sad, yo. When I tell you, I'm like this and I'm crying. And I'm just like, no, please, let this not be true. So she's screaming and crying and she's like, no, please, no. When all of a sudden you see fucking Mari Winter, this fucking bitch, coming down the corridors with Joan behind her. And she hears Lou screaming and crying. And she goes to the door. She looks through the window. That's that scene, that clip that we saw. She looks through the fucking window of the door and sees Lou holding Reb and crying and screaming. So she opens the door and she's like, what the fuck happened to Reb? And Lou's like, get the fuck out. And she's like, what the fuck happened to Reb? And Lou's like, get the fuck out. And she gets off of the bed, okay, storms to the door, pushes Mari out, I think, or I don't know if that's just something that I wish would have happened, but she pushes Mari out. She closes the door shut. She proceeds to get back on the bed talking about, come on, hold on. And then she's screaming, no. And she's just crying and screaming and holding Reb's dead body. And when I tell you, it was sad. It was the saddest shit I've ever fucking seen happen on Wentworth, man. Like, even sadder than poor Lizzie's death. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Because ask yourself this. Anyone out there right now in the world, are you in love with someone? Is there someone that you're in love with? If so, how would you feel if that person was to be killed while laying in bed next to you? Lou's gonna feel all the terrible emotions, okay? First of all, Lou's gonna feel like it's her fault. Like, damn, man, I was literally in bed with my dude and I couldn't fucking save him. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna blame herself, not knowing that she was drugged up, which is why she was able to stay sleeping while they were strangling her fucking one true love while he laid beside her. Yo, that's some fucking traumatic shit right there. She's never gonna get over this. I'm never gonna get over this. That scene was like, oh my God. Like, yeah, the writers of Wentworth may as well have gone worldwide to fans worldwide and punched us all in our faces. It was so sad. I knew Reb was gonna die. We all did. I never in a fucking million years suspected for one fucking second that Luke Kelly was gonna wake up to find him dead in her arms. Listen, oh God, that was so sad, yo. So fucking sad. And all night, last night, I kept thinking about it. And just like, what? Oh my God. Like, it's just so sad. This fucking Luke Kelly. All her life, this terrible life that she has, she finally finds love. To have that love taken from her in such a fucked up way. To have her wake up to him dead in her arms. Yo, that shit is crazy. Fucking Wentworth.
I fucking hate y'all. What?
Let me tell you something. This was only episode 1, okay? Which means we are in for one fucking hell of a ride. Like, we are not even ready. I'm not fucking ready for next week. Even though I'm so ready for next week. The way that it ends is Joan pushes the panic button. And we see Mari's face looking like, oh God, what have I done? And then we see Lou holding Reb, crying, screaming, no, 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 please. Well, I'm the one that was saying, please, God, no. But Lou was just saying, no, 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 1,000 times. It was so fucking sad. All right, so now I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on the episode. You know what I'm saying? I know I gave you some of my thoughts as we were going, but I've got more thoughts, okay? And I'm going to also give you my predictions for, you know, moving forward. Not specifically for episode 2, but, you know, just predictions in general. All right, so we're going to start this shit off with Sheila's ass, okay? First of all, let me just say this. I underestimated Sheila. For me, Sheila was a beady-eyed little monster, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't think that she was a diabolical demon, okay? Somebody asked me, why do you think Sheila killed Reb? And the easy answer to that is because Lou killed Mendel. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sheila doesn't know it for a fact, but she took what Mari said and ran with it. So it might as well be fact. You know what I'm saying? Even though technically it is a fact. But Sheila don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So she took this information, ran with it, and decided that since Lou killed her one true love, Mendel, that Sheila was now going to return the favor and kill Lou's one true love. Poor innocent Reb Keane. So Sheila killed Reb to get back at Lou. So now we even. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet you Sheila ends up saying that to her at some point. Now you and I are even. Neither one of us has our one true love. Listen, I still can't get over the whole Lou finding him in bed and the spoon, and when she touched the spoon, it was like it took her a second to register, for her mind to register what she was seeing. So now let's talk real quick about Sheila suppressing her natural desires. I feel like Sheila wasn't really in love with Mendel. I feel like the reason why Sheila loved Mendel is because she probably grew up thinking that being gay was wrong. You know what I'm saying? She meets Mendel. He helps snap her out of it, even though there is no snapping you out of it. You are who you are. Y punto. In the part where she was in the bathroom and she was aggressively flossing her teeth and gums, okay, while simultaneously lusting after a soapy Judy Bryant, okay, she's going in on these gums to the point where she's bleeding. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that was her, you know, trying to fight the feeling. That must be so terrible. I kind of sympathize. Well, you know, no, don't take it too far. I don't sympathize with Sheila, but I understand her. That's a better thing to say. I was saying she's all the way back in the closet, you know what I'm saying? Like, behind a trap door in the closet, and she needs to come out. I feel like everybody comes out at their own pace, on their own time. You know what I'm saying? It's not for anybody else to be like, yo, you need to come out this closet. Sheila specifically, okay? She needs to get the fuck out the closet. And I'm going to tell you why. Because her being in the closet is what's causing her fucking madness, okay? If she was out, free in the world, loving, you know what I'm saying? Females, okay? Freely, without this thing in the back of her head like, I'm a sinner, I'm gonna go to hell. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she'd be out here spiking people's drinks with poison and strangling motherfuckers with a garrote while they sleeping next to their precious baby love, okay? So Sheila, I also think, I swear to you, I feel like Sheila also participated in the abuse that the people in the True Paths Retreat and Lifestyle Conversion fucking place went through. So we all know that Mendel was putting Rohypnol in the people's drinks and having his way with their bodies. I feel like Lou was already knocked out because of Mendel drugging her, and when he was done, he left her there to sleep it off. You know what I'm saying? In walks a horny Sheila Bausch, okay? She sees Lou's voluptuous body laying down on the bed. Sheila sees this. So Sheila sees Lou. She's like, you know what? I must have you. And right then and there, she has her way with Lou's body, okay? bitch. Lou was already coming out of it, so she kind of like saw glimpses of this blonde hair and these beady little eyes. So I feel like Lou knows. So I think that's gonna come out into play. They're probably gonna fucking go toe to toe, and Lou's gonna tell her, I know you did this to me, and she's gonna punch her in the face, and she's gonna beat her ass. So the last thing that I want to say about Sheila is a prediction for the future. So in that scene where Boomer was writing the prison porn, right? And they were talking about nipples, and Sheila was getting all bent out of shape, and Ruby was getting a kick out of the whole thing. So she's calling Sheila sexy, and she's saying, what happened? You don't like the nipples? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was that she was saying. And Sheila was taking all of that shit right up the ass. Meanwhile, she was secretly loving it. She was secretly loving the fact that Ruby, a woman, was calling her, a woman, sexy. But she can't. She can't. She can't. She wants Judy Bryant. She don't want you, Ruby. Ruby's gonna take it too far. Mark my words, Ruby's gonna take it too far with the flirtatious advances, even though she's just fucking with Sheila. She don't mean it. She don't want to get with Sheila. She's just fucking with her because she knows that Sheila is like anti-gay. That's what I think. I think that Ruby's gonna take it too far, and Sheila's gonna kill Ruby. While we're talking about Ruby, I also feel that before Ruby dies, okay, she's gonna try to be a hero, and she's gonna try to kill Lou. She's already been saying it. She keeps on saying it. I'm just waiting for Allie to tell us that it was Lou who did it, and then Lou, it's a wrap for Miss Lou Kelly. Lou Kelly's dead. First of all, Ruby, I'm gonna need for you to stop, okay? Because no, you're not. You're not gonna kill anybody, okay? Your sister Rita, she's the assassin, not you. Dr. Miller is a dead man. He's a dead man walking, okay? Bottom line. First of all, when Joan Ferguson went into his office talking about, I need your help or I'm going to kill someone, you know what I'm saying? He shuts her down. She gives him this look as she's being escorted out of his office, all right? When I saw this, I was like, okay, your days are numbered, Dr. Miller. It doesn't matter that you're cute. It doesn't matter that you've got nice hands, okay? Your days are numbered. So now Dr. Miller is involved with Joan and her shit. He gave her some fucking medication. You know, when he was passing her the bottle of medication, I said to myself, yo, don't you fucking learn, papa? Like, tú no aprendes. You don't remember what happened with Lizzie Birdsworth and the meds? You know what I'm saying? You almost lost your job. Okay? Now, he's definitely gonna get fired. He's either gonna die or he's gonna get fired. He's gonna definitely die, but he's also gonna get fired because of this. Because Vera's gonna find out. Let me tell you something. Vera's like a fucking hawk. She's watching everything, all the CCTV terminals, okay? She's watching motherfuckers. She wants to catch the freak out there in her lies. Vera's gonna find out because right now Dr. Miller told her, yo, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing that you've regained your memory. So basically he knows she's been faking amnesia for the last 3 weeks and has regained her memory, and he's telling her don't say jack shit to nobody and take the medication, and we're going to delve deep into your past traumas. For unsuspecting, naive, kind-hearted Dr. Miller, you're going down, okay? And it's going to be sad because you're one of the innocents, okay? You're like collateral damage. Mari. Oh, Mari, how I hate you. So Mari, I feel like okay, first of all, I don't feel, I know Mari's a bitch, okay? My hate for Judy Bryant has subsided just a little bit and has been replaced with hate for Mari Winter and Sheila Bausch. I didn't like Sheila before. I hate the bitch now. I felt bad for Mari before. I hate the bitch now. I couldn't fucking stand Judy Bryant before. I still can't stand Judy Bryant, but I'm getting some type of enjoyment from her character, watching her walk around like a pendeja, scared to death every fucking second. It's like 90-something degrees, and it has been all week, and I'm in need for this sun to chill, okay? I feel like it's kind of obvious that this is gonna happen, but these are my thoughts. You might think differently. I feel like Mari, okay, so we know that Mari consoles Lou this next episode, episode 2, okay? Mari is consoling a grieving fucking Lou. So in those moments of consoling Lou, she's gonna be like, I know who did it. Mari's gonna basically talk shit into Lou's ear while poor Lou is crying and grieving. Mari's gonna be like, you know what? I know who did it. It was that beady-eyed little bitch, Sheila Bausch. She's gonna tell Lou that it was Sheila who killed Reb, but she's gonna leave out her involvement. She's gonna leave out the part where she was like the snake. It was like that snake in the Garden of Eden going into Eve's ear talking that shit. And then what happens? Eve eats the apple. And out here, what happens? Sheila fucking goes rogue and kills Reb. So that's what she's gonna do with Lou. She's gonna talk that shit, and she's gonna be like, this is what happened. Sheila did it. I don't know why, but it's gonna light a fire under Lou's ass. Okay, first of all, Lou is already a loose cannon. She's a fucking loose cannon. Those are just the facts. But after she finds out that it was Sheila, oh my God, as much as she can't fucking stand Sheila, when she finds out that it was Sheila, whew, in the words of the late B. Smith, Lou is gonna rain a shitstorm down on the entire prison complex, okay? Nobody's safe. Inmates, guards, the governor, nobody's safe. Nobody. But Mari's a bitch. I can't fucking stand Mari. Like, yeah, you wanted Lou to get out the way, and now look, poor fucking Reb is gone. And you're here. What you think, that you're gonna be Lou's best friend from now on? When Lou finds out that Mari is the one that put this whole shit in motion, it's a fucking wrap for Mari 1 to 2. I don't want Mari to die saving someone else. Fuck all that. Fuck your redemption, bitch. Alright, so this is another thought/prediction. Remember when Lou and Reb were being interrogated by the police? And they're like, when did y'all leave? And Lou, all confident, you know what I'm saying? She's like, May. And Reb is like, June. And I was like, ah, shit, here we go. And then Reb, cleans up his mistake. He's like, nah, it wasn't May. I remember because it was my baby's birthday. You know what I'm saying? I got this sinking feeling that was the beginning of the end. I got a feeling that that's gonna come back into play for some reason. I feel like the authorities are gonna now investigate the month of May and the month of June. And they're gonna find something. I know that Lou burned the records that place her and Reb there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like she wasn't as thorough as she should have been because she was blinded by love and the desire to save Reb and get him the fuck out of this place. So she probably left some type of evidence behind. You know what I'm saying? The cops get nosy. They decide to investigate further because they're like, hold up, their stories didn't match. You know what I'm saying? They go to investigate. They find out that they were there. What happens? Because of them finding out that Luke Kelly did it, they're like, okay, you're the one that did it. Luke Kelly is now charged with the murder of these 9 motherfuckers plus arson, okay? And then what? She's the one that's now sentenced to life in jail for 9 counts of fucking murder. Oh my God. I want to fuck everybody up. Anyone that had anything to do with like harming Lou in any shape, way, or form, I want to beat their ass. So once Lou is charged, fucking Sheila will be vindicated. She's gonna get released from Wentworth Correctional Center and end up a free woman, which is why we see her in this vehicle, okay? In this photo here from one of the trailers from before the season began. So I predict that Lou is gonna start this riot so that she could fucking try to escape the prison because she needs to get to Sheila because Sheila's got to die. Series finale is Lou Kelly climbing the fence, escaping the walls of Wentworth, okay? And then we see the last scenes are Sheila in her car, right? And then Lou Kelly on the streets of Australia in search of Sheila. And then that's how it ends. And then what happens? Us fans get a spin-off show. That would be a great spin-off. Lou chasing fucking Sheila the killer to avenge the murder of her one true love, all right? And then as she's searching for her, we could get like backstories via Lou's memories. I kind of want to say one last thing. Okay, you know what? I'm going to. This is real life. It's real life. So I had to ask myself, bitch, what is wrong with you? Like, who are you when this happened? What happened was, during the scene where Lou discovers Reb's lifeless body in her arms, I was crying and screaming, okay? And yelling. And then what happened? I saw her. I saw Lou Kelly without a shirt on. And I was like, oh my God, look at her. And in my mind, like, I'm crying and I'm just like so sad because of what's happening. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, she's beautiful. Lou Kelly's got more tattoos. We get to see more of her tats. She's got both of her upper arms tattooed. She's got the side of her ribs tattooed. When I saw that rib tattoo, I was like, oh my God, I've got a tattoo there too. Like, it was meant to be, even though she's not real. Just mixed emotions. It was like traumatizing what I was seeing, but at the same time I was just like, oh my God, she doesn't have on a shirt. I just love Lou Kelly, that's all. I just love Lou Kelly. You know, she's just beautiful. She's just beautiful. She's just so beautiful. All right, world, that's it. This is it. The end of this review, plus predictions, plus memorial services, plus fucking whatever. And let me just say this. If you like this video, you already know what to do. Like my shit, okay? Subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell, do all the things. And stay tuned. Because next week we're doing this all over again with episode 2. I just wanted to give a shout out to the writers of Wentworth, the producers, the directors, the cast members. Y'all did the damn thing this first episode, and I am looking forward to seeing what else happens. That's it, world. Bye.
Wanting to kill them all. The final sentence is here. She stabbed me in the back. She has to die, eh? With new episodes, Tuesdays 8:30. Sometimes you have to kill the monsters you've created.
She's never going to stop, Jake. She will always be a threat. That photo was a warning.